Section 1. Origins of the word. Science.
Greetings. Welcome to the Theophilus Amadeus Gottlieb YouTube channel. Today we are going to explore the intersection between scripture and science. In today's lesson, we will explain how to use the two-step scientific method to better understand the Bible. This method involves observing the natural world and then formulating a hypothesis based on those observations. We will apply this method to the Bible by examining its teachings and analyzing them through the lens of science. By using this method, we can gain a deeper understanding of the Bible's message and how it relates to our modern understanding of the world. We will begin today's lesson by giving a clear and concise definition of the word science. Science refers to a systematic and organized body of knowledge obtained through observation and experimentation.
Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Have you ever thought about where the word science comes from? It's not just a random word someone made up. It has a fascinating history that goes back thousands of years. Think of science as a map. You want to get from point A to point B, but you do not know the way. What do? You consult a map, a guide that shows you the most direct and efficient route to your destination. Similarly, science is a guide to knowledge. It's a tool we use to understand the world around us and make sense of the things we observe. Without science, we would be lost, wandering aimlessly without a clear direction or purpose. The word science comes from the Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. But did you know that the Latin word scientia has its roots in an even older word, sire, which means to know? Sire comes from the Proto-Indo-European root, ske, which means to cut or to separate. So science is all about cutting through the noise and separating truth from lies. It's about discerning what is real and what is not, and using that knowledge to make informed decisions about our lives and our world. In short, science is like a trusty map, a tool we can use to navigate the complexities of our world and find our way to our destination. Science is indeed not a dogma, but a method, one that allows individuals with diverse backgrounds and perspectives to come together and form a shared understanding of the natural world. Through observation, experimentation, and analysis, the Bible is often thought of as a religious book. However, to say that the Bible is about religion would be a gross oversimplification. The truth is that the Bible is about much more than that. The Bible is a book about humanity, our place in the world, and most of all, our relationship with the Most High. It is a collection of stories, poems, and teachings that explore the fundamental questions of existence. Who are we? Where did we come from? What is our purpose? These questions are not limited to any religion. They are questions that science and philosophy seek to answer as well. And this is where the intersection between scripture and science becomes particularly interesting. By approaching the Bible with a scientific mindset, we can gain new insights into its teachings and better understand our place in the world. The Bible is a treasure trove of scientific knowledge that has been revered for centuries. Its pages contain numerous passages that touch on various aspects of the natural world, from the creation of the universe to the workings of the human body. In fact, some of the earliest scientific breakthroughs were made by scholars who were inspired by the Bible's teachings. For example, the great astronomer Johannes Kepler was driven by his knowledge of scripture to seek a deeper understanding of the cosmos, and his discoveries helped pave the way for modern astronomy. The Bible's scientific insights are not limited to astronomy, however. It also contains profound insights into the fields of biology, geology, and physics. The Book of Job, for instance, contains passages that describe the water cycle long before modern science was able to do so. And the Book of Ecclesiastes speaks of the cycles of nature, anticipating the concept of the food chain that we use today. So it's clear that the Bible and science are not at odds with each other, but rather they complement each other. By using the scientific method to examine the Bible's teachings, we can gain a deeper understanding of both science and the scriptures. This is the essence of the intersection between scripture and science that we will be exploring in this lesson. The Bible at its core is not a religious text, but a scientific one. Its pages are filled with wonder, awe, and questions that lay the groundwork for generations of curious minds to come. The pursuit of truth is relentless, and the Bible is a testament to the power of human inquiry. It reminds us that we are all scientists in search of knowledge. Science is like an operating system, a framework that enables us to exchange ideas and knowledge. It is a language, one whose principles and conventions are not so different from those of any other tongue. Without language, we are reduced to grunts and snarls, to incoherent cries and meaningless gestures. But with language, we can convey our thoughts with precision and nuance, describing the world around us in ever more exacting detail. In the same way, science empowers us to articulate our observations and discoveries in a way that transcends individual biases and perspectives. It encourages us to pursue a common language of inquiry, a shared framework that enables us to pursue truth and knowledge in a collaborative, rigorous manner. Science is the universal language, the lingua franca of inquiry, that allows us to share our thoughts and discoveries with anyone anywhere in the world. It is the ultimate trade network, a conduit for exchanging ideas and knowledge across borders, cultures, and ideologies. Science is more than just a means of communication. It is a living, breathing thing, a dynamic process of observation and discovery that is always growing, always changing, always evolving. It is not a static monument to be worshipped, or a rigid dogma to be obeyed. Rather, it is a living thing, a constantly evolving tapestry of insights and observations that invites us to join in the grand adventure of discovery. The pursuit of science is about testing ideas, pushing boundaries, and discovering what's truly real. Contrary to popular belief, science doesn't set out to prove things right. Instead, it seeks to disprove, to challenge, to question. It divides the world of thought into two categories: those ideas that are definitely wholly false, and those that might contain some glimmer of truth. In this way, science is a method that allows us to explore the unknown, to challenge our assumptions, and to discover new truths about life and the world around us. And while it may not always provide us with clear-cut answers, it does offer us a framework for thinking critically and objectively about life and the world, and that is a gift that should never be taken for granted. The Bible and science share a common purpose: to uncover the secrets of the universe, and to seek out knowledge. Science is the modern-day equivalent of panning for gold, sifting through layers of dirt and gravel to find the telltale glimmer of precious metal. Just like the prospector, the seeker separates the certified truth from the mix of fact and fiction that surrounds us. And, by diving into the Bible's pages, we may discover a little something about ourselves along the way. This concludes Section 1 of today's lesson. Before moving on to Section 2, I would like to provide a brief summary of the origin and meaning of the word scientist. Proto-Indo-European language and its descendants. The word scientist has its roots in the Proto-Indo-European language. Proto-Indo-European is the ancestor of many modern languages, including Greek and Hebrew. Greek and Hebrew words related to scientist. The Greek word schizo means to separate or discern. The Hebrew word bin means to discern or understand. Both words are related to the idea of distinguishing or separating things in order to understand them better. Meaning of scientist. The term scientist refers to someone who uses their knowledge and skills to discern or separate complex ideas into smaller parts and use models and frameworks to make them easier to understand. The goal of a scientist is to provide practical and actionable takeaways that can be used to solve real-world problems.